Welcome to the Mother Days podcast. I'm Teresa Palmer.
And I'm Wright Olsen. Hi, Daisies.
Hi. I just said to Sarah, I was like, wait, what are we talking about?
And I'm like, it's a solo, girl. It's a solo.
Solo app.
We love these solo episodes. We're just like doing our thing. It's summertime. This episode's actually going to air on July 4th. So It's very exciting.
Happy holiday.
Happy holiday. I think it's just like a nice little summer celebration, right? We all can just take a deep breath and maybe have some slow days. And I don't know, like, what are you guys doing for summer? Give us your plan.
Nothing will ever top our July 4th than when we were in Idaho with the Olsens. That was so much fun. I mean, it was next level. We went to that 4th of July parade, and like, being Australian, I actually haven't ever been to a 4th of July parade ever. And I think is it in every state they have them, or is it just in sort of these smaller towns? Or tell me.
I mean, even some places in LA have some sort of like a 4th of July parade. A lot of places will have fireworks. I would say most places have fireworks in some capacity. And if you get more to the south or a little bit deeper into like the sticks, then most people in their backyards have fireworks going off.
Yes. I remember on my road trip, we would drive past, like in the middle of America, we would drive past these like gas stations, and you'd go in and there's a whole section of just fireworks. Yeah. Like dedicated to fireworks. I was like, what is this even for?
I know.
It's like people do this. I was like, I'm terrified.
We had a lot of like parties in the South. So I'm from Kentucky. So we had like Kentucky Derby. So we would do like a lot of Derby parties during that time of year, which is like around like April, May-ish. And they'd have like a hot air balloon race. And it was really similar to what happens around the 4th of July, which is why I'm bringing it up. Because in Idaho, there's a hot air balloon race that happens like, I think, around either on the 4th or the day before it. And the kids always get up in the morning so early and get excited to look outside and see if the hot air balloons are like up in the sky yet. And then we all jump into the car. It's like 7 a.m. and we're chasing the hot air balloons.
Yay!
So yeah. And so because at some point, it's like a race, right? At some point they come down into different farms and fields. So if you like follow them pretty closely, then you can like, it's like chasing a storm. Like you can chase after it. And your dream. I was just thinking like, if I was chasing a tornado, Teresa would be like, yes, I'm in. That's what I would do.
Literally be sitting next to you being like, go, go, go. It's an F5. Oh my God, I'm Helen Hunt.
Oh my God. You know, I grew up in Tornado Alley, right?
Yeah. And remember, I was like, oh my God. So you've experienced like what I've always wanted to experience, which, by the way, is so morbid because I get that it's very real danger and it's devastating to people. But I grew up watching Twister, and it was my favorite movie.
It was so good.
My favorite movie. And then I kept watching every tornado movie since then. And then I watched remember when there was that phase in the 90s of like, Deep Impact was a movie that came out.
Always catastrophizing, like
the meteors coming to hit Earth and everyone's going to die. And for whatever reason, they were my favorite.
Armageddon, like that movie. Oh, I know we've talked about that before, but I cried so hard during that movie. And then Twister. So the Twister movie, I thought, was she wearing like a white tank top? I just thought she had like, she looked so hot.
She
did.
Her
outfit was amazing. And do you remember the part where they're like holding onto the pipe in the yard and their bodies are like flying up?
Yes, with the belt, and they're like, whee, like flying back.
I was like, oh my God. I think I wore a white tank top with a low pair of jeans. consistently because of her. Because
is that
of
why
that
you're wearing
movie.
one today?
Well, no, today I'm wearing a dress. And it's all because of Helen Hunt. No, but yes, growing up in Tornado Alley, there was always like a lot of storms, but also a lot of great summer parties. I think everybody's like excited that the ice thaws, the snow's gone, it's not cold anymore, and it's just like backyard barbecues, like lots of, hot dog, hamburger, corn on the cob, ice cream, whatever it is, and then karaoke in the backyard. That's all 4th of July. Fireworks.
Heaven. I love like a summer vibe where you're just, in Australia, for me, when I think about summer, I'm like, it's beach and it's outdoor barbecues and you go to the local pub and it's like everyone's out in the beer garden, like having beers, and it's so hot until so late, and it's just unbelievable. It's just that summer vibe, live music. I love it. I'm a summer girl. Like, I don't do well in winter. I also get extremely pasty, as I am right now. It's like unbelievable. Luckily, we've moved to Malibu for a month. I am going to have myself baking like a lobster out on the beach, out by the pool, just like lapping up that vitamin D, getting those rays. Oh my goodness. It's my favorite time of the year. I love it so much. But poor people listening in Australia is like, screw you guys.
It's winter.
We're heading into winter. Yeah, exactly. Be pissing down with rain.
It's been this morning was like, I don't know who I was talking to yesterday, but I was like, I feel like I haven't had seen the sunshine in a while in LA. And it was like another morning where we woke up inside of a cloud. Of course, we live on the west side. So west side LA lives in a cloud for months. We don't get what east side gets, which is sunshine in the morning, it's hotter, it's drier. For us, it's more humid and whatever. There's a burn off that happens. That's why they call it June gloom. Mm-hmm. And so we've been living inside of a cloud pretty much every day. You wake up and you're like, is it raining? Why is my hair wet?
Is it cold?
Is it cold? Yeah. It's freezing. But this morning we woke up and the sun was shining into our bedroom, and I was like, oh my God,
it's changing.
It's summer. Yeah. And the kids just graduated, just did their stepping up, which was so cute. And it was so exciting. I totally cried. I cried a lot because at Winter's stepping up ceremony, there was a little kid. I think he was 5. So he's probably going from TK. Maybe he was 4. He's going from one of them stepping up to the next grade. But he got nervous and didn't want to go over the step that has all the flowers and everything with the teachers. And so his mom went up on stage and she went to hold him. And then he was still kind of feeling nervous about it. And then all of his friends from his class got up there and they were like, we'll go with you. And they wanted to hold his hand. I could not. I was fully crying. This is so beautiful. Community. So then they held his hand with his mom as they went over the step and brought him over to step up to the next grade. Isn't that so
Oh
sweet?
My gosh, that's just so beautiful, and it's so symbolic. I love that idea.
And then my son is now a 5th grader, and I can't even freaking believe it, because I remember going to the 5th grade being like, gosh, I am
so
that's
old.
It. I'm an adult. I'm so old now.
Well, it's so weird for me because my kids always go down a grade when they come to America. So Bodhi's in year 5 already, which is 5th grade.
Got it.
And
there's no kinder.
No, there is. But because you start in September, you do September through June or something?
Yeah.
We start January through and we finish in December. We just do a full year,
Oh.
So
it doesn't stop?
Yeah, it does stop. We have a massive break over Christmas and July. So we break about December the 3rd. Then we have all of that month off. Then we have all of January off. And we don't start until the very end of January or the first week in February.
That is your summer, though. That makes sense. That's Australia summer. Okay. Exactly. But that works out nicely for the calendar year. You're
it's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start a new year, you start a new school grade. So I had to always get used to it here. And I kept thinking that my kids were meant to be in the same year that they'd already done 6 months of school in, but they're like, no, they don't move up until June. I was like, oh my gosh. So it's been really hard for me to calculate like
where you're at.
Yeah. And also they've been working at a grade 5 level for 6 months and they come here and they're in the 4th grade.
Yeah.
Or they're finishing the tail end of the 4th grade. So it's been really interesting trying to figure all of that out. But I think that's all going to change because we're only going to have one school from now on. We were doing a school in America and a school in Australia. But now that Bodhi's about to be going into, next year he'll be in 6th grade. Or year 6. I'm talking like you now. In year 6, I feel like we need to just stick with one curriculum, one school. So when we travel, we'll just homeschool or have a tutor, which will be cool. So yeah, I think this year will be the last of their American school experience, which will be a bit sad, but I think best for them.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that makes me sad to hear that they're not going to be in America at all for the school year, but maybe we'll get to see you over.
We will be, knowing our lives. Something will come up. Something will bloody come up.
Wait, what? You're not coming at all?
No. Every holidays will be in America, but also everything. Well, I mean, we're always traveling. There's always jobs going on.
Yeah.
We'll still be here a lot. And also it's really beneficial for my work and Mark's work to have a significant presence in LA. So we'll still be here a lot. But yeah, times are changing. Kids are growing up. It's funny having a teenager in the house as well. And he's like bloody brilliant, but he's also really teenagey. He's like that teenager dude who like is on his phone, is on social media. He's very, very cool. He's like inherently cool. He's way cooler than I am. He's like got amazing fashion sense. He's introducing me to music that I didn't even know existed, like genres that have blended and now it's this new genre and it will say the name of it. And I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. He's like, oh yeah, it's a thing. And I'm like, I really like that. He's been playing me this like, I think it's called Charlie XCX or something. Hi, Bodhi, through the window. Is that the name of it, Bodhi? Is it Charlie?
Yeah. It's Charlie XCX.
XCX. Okay, see, I didn't even know this was a thing. But it was like electronica mixed in with kind of pop and something else. I'm sure there's another sort of genre thrown in there. What, Bodhi? The Help. Bodhi's telling me The Help. And I'm such an old granny. I'm like, what? I didn't even know the young kids are listening to this stuff.
What's The Help? I thought that was a book.
The Help is some amazing new band or whatever. And I'm like, what? Isaac, you have really found my niche. Like, I love kind of that really interesting electronica where you feel like you're watching a movie, but then it's got a really pretty voice in there. And I was like, Isaac, you're so cool. And
this is my vibe.
they're like just the new generation. It's so interesting. I have to say, I have been feeling old though. Like recently in particular, I'm the oldest one on set. I'm kind of, that's not true, but I'm one of the older crew members. I'm one of the like older cast members. I'm just noticing my body doesn't function as well as it did. Like my knees are clicking more.
Yes.
The lines on my face that used to like be there and then disappear just stay there now. And I'm just, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm middle-aged. Am I middle-aged? I am now. But then like on the inside, I still feel so young.
You're gonna live to 100. You're like working out, you're eating healthy, you're gonna live to 100. You're not middle-aged yet.
I feel, and I was talking to Frankie about it and she was like, yeah, it's like all my friends are having these midlife kind of slumps. And I was like, oh my God, is that headed for me? Am I headed to a midlife slump? I don't want a midlife slump.
No.
Yeah,
if you I think if you're taking great, and you know me, I'm all about that like positive, like doing what you can to, take really good care of your body and your nutrients. And, it's all about like nutrition and blood flow and moving your body and like.
And also doing things that serve you. Like
make
what
you feel
makes
good.
you feel good.
Yeah.
Like bike riding makes me feel good. Like
That's
with
right.
my kids.
Same.
I'm so excited. We're staying in Malibu for a month. We're staying at Moby's house. And Mark's directing a movie that Moby's producing. Anyway. So we're in this like really cool area in Malibu, and there's so many kids everywhere on scooters and bikes and
it's
zipping around. And I was like, oh, this is that kind of California dreaming that I always like saw in movies. And I just like when I was living in Australia, I'm like, California, like that's what I thought of Cali.
That really is where you are right now. Like you have to go to the local, like the Becker, like surf shop. You got to go there. You got to go to the like yogurt shop. You go up to like Vintage Grocer. There's like a surf store there, and like
oh my gosh,
a really amazing like brewery where the kids can play on the yard while you sit and order your food.
Yes.
Like all this stuff is.
You need to write me out a whole list.
I will.
Sarah's going to be off gallivanting in Switzerland having fun.
I know. We're going to be gone. We've been here.
You have.
And now we're
here.
leaving, and Taz is back.
Of course, like as I move into her hood, she's like, "Goodbye. I'm going to go have a life adventure."
It's like the worst. Yeah, no, I know, but we'll be back. We're just going for 2 weeks on an adventure, and so we'll be back. Actually, by the time this episode airs, we're already back. So,
oh, there we go. You're back already. Woo!
Back already. Woo!
How was the trip?
Oh, it was amazing. It was a lot.
Manifest.
It was amazing.
Manifest it, girl. It was unbelievable. It was life-changing.
Life-changing. Gorgeous scenery, really delicious food. I'm jet lagged.
You're so jet lagged. Oh my God, you had too many drinks when you're away by the pool.
That's right. Is there a pool where we're going? I don't even know because it's Switzerland. I mean, who knows? I've been craving the sunshine. I could be heading straight into like cold mountains.
Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Idea. Very picturesque. Yeah, I'm like living the dream here. I love it. I said to Mark today, I was like, I just want to get out and bike ride. I want to go to the pool. I want to go to the beach. I just, I'm ready for my California summer.
Yeah, it's going to be so. How long are you guys going to stay there?
So we're going to be here for a month, and then it's kind of up in the air. As people know, I am doing this IVF thing because I had eggs frozen when I was younger, and my husband has deposited sperm. And that is a funny freaking story.
Are we going to have him on for that?
We're going to have him tell the story. He won't do it now, but we will have him tell the story. Guys, you're in for a treat.
You're in for a treat. Actually,
unbelievable.
We have a 100th episode coming up. We should have him come on with Eric and tell the story on the 100th episode.
I've been telling this story in the past week to everyone I know. People are on the floor laughing. It's genius. As it was happening, I was texting Sarah being like, I've got the best story ever
Our text
for the
thread
podcast.
Is insane.
I know. It's so good. But anyway, he deposited sperm, and I was like, this might be your spermies that are going to make our babies. Like the spermie and the eggies go together. So I've got to do that process. And if I want to, depending on if we get any embryos out of my younger eggs, we could just leave it there. Or I could do an egg retrieval and see. I think they say you want 3 embryos for 1 baby. And yeah, so I'm assuming that I'm probably going to end up doing an egg retrieval and go through that process. So timing wise, they said that I meant to do that. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that at the end of July. And then in August, they do what's called a mock cycle, where they basically prep your body and then they put a pretend embryo in or something.
Oh, wow.
To make sure that your body will take so that they don't waste the actual embryo. And
that's
then
interesting.
If they have to adjust medications because the mock cycle showed that like you wouldn't have been able to conceive that month, then they adjust medications for the next cycle where it's the real deal. They put the real embryos in. So they say they have much higher success of that.
Wow.
I know. So I think it might mean I have to be here until September, but I'm meant to be putting my house on the market in Adelaide, and I've got so much to do at my farm, at my place in Adelaide. There's just, we lived there for 30 years. So even my dad's old tools are there. There's machinery I've got to go through. There's sheds to go through. I mean, there's just so much to do that I need a good few months on the ground there, just sorting and packing and getting stuff ready.
Are you going to be going to shoot anything like in September? Because I know we're talking about doing our live shows, everybody.
I know. Well, I have an offer for something in September.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, oh my God, with a director that I'm obsessed with, like an iconic Australian director.
Oh, wow.
They're still looking for their last piece of financing. So how that kind of works in Hollywood is like they package together something. They'll attach cast and then they go out. Sometimes they go to like Cannes or Berlin and they do what's called pre-sales where they pull money, or sometimes it's private equity money. And so there's a little slither of the budget that they're trying to raise still. And when you're in that position and you've sort of said yes to an attachment, you hope that it's going to go. And I think all the pieces feel right here in terms of the cast and the creatives involved and how unbelievable the script is.
Wow.
But the character in this job, Sarah, says she's like this billionairess and she's got a face that only money can buy. And I was like, I'm probably not the right person for this. I've never had anything done to my face. So now I'm like, my makeup team that I use all the time, I've been using them on every job.
Get it. They're going to have to make your face look plastic.
I was like, I think they're going to get silicone lips for me. They've talked about getting some silicone lips.
Get out.
Oh
my God.
And they've been sending me photos. And I was like, guys, would I do Botox just for this role? Like, would I do Botox? Because there's nothing they can really do about the wrinkles on my face. I mean, I guess they could take it out with CGI.
If you're pregnant, no.
I know. So that's why I was like, no, you definitely can't do it when you're pregnant. And I was like, would this be the one time I get Botox for the role?
No, you don't need it.
I know, but they said that they would, my makeup team, they're so sweet. I fucking love them so much. Shout out to Vonnie and Emma.
But can't they do
they could do tape. Yeah. They can do tape.
They can do tape. And then there's a couple of things you can do. I think there's like some stuff that like makes it tighter too. Like you wouldn't want to do it every day, but for like, And
I was like, well, I could wear my hair back in a really tight ponytail.
Yeah, there you go. Pull it all back. Have your fake lips on.
My fake lips. Oh my God. I was like, they've cast like Miss Au Naturelle for that role. I was like, oh my gosh. Have they seen what I look like in real life?
I had no idea what you were going to say that you were supposed to look like. And that is not what I expected.
Yeah. I'm like, wow.
Well, first of all,
thinking
you're
transformation.
Gorgeous.
Oh, you're so
I
sweet.
love your face, but it doesn't look like the face that you bought. It looks like the face you were born with.
I know. It needs to look like a face that's been bought, that's been purchased.
I mean, I get it.
They've got prosthetics for that. But I was thinking of a full like black. I was thinking of going black, like big lashes, kind of black crop little French girl haircut, like really dark, like chic. Anyway, full transformation.
I love it.
So that's meant to happen. They want to go in like the south of France in September.
Wow.
So, which would be so dope.
That would be so fun. Oh my God.
Can we do our get together with the girls in the south of France?
Who wants us to come to France?
Woo!
That'd be so amazing. France.
Bonjour.
That would be so cool. Yeah, we got to get some of our lives together. I know you guys have been asking when that's coming, but we really are just waiting on dates from Teresa.
On dates, I know. I'm always, I guess Rachel too. Like she's looking at doing TV shows and whatnot.
Yeah.
We all are. You might get one of these jobs you've been going for. Olivia might get something. It's so hard. The industry, like, is the one thing that I'm always
it's
like,
hard to plan far in advance.
It is. Like, people ask me like, oh, what are you doing in October? Or can we come visit? Or we'll come stay with you in October in LA.
Fly by the seat of my pants.
I was like, I don't fucking know. Like, I could get a phone call and they're like, you've booked a job and you're moving to Bulgaria for 3 months.
Oh my God.
It's just so hard to plan and it's really hard to be predictable. And I'm like, it's the one part of the job that's hard. It was really fun when I was younger. I was like, of course. I don't know where I'm going to be. I'm just living out of a suitcase.
Beyonce talks about that. She was like, it used to be so fun, but she would do all these flights all the time for her job. And she'd be in like different places and could do it like, one night in some country and then be leaving the next day. And we're like, we're too old for this stuff now. It's like
that's how I
really
feel.
hard.
I'm like, oh my God, I just... I crave predictability, but also I love what I do and I really enjoy it. And I've been meditating on it so much. Like, am I still really loving it? And what I love about it, I don't love the like trying to find the job and overthinking, like, is this the right move? I don't love that aspect of it. But when I have a job and I'm in it and I'm working with great people and between action and cut and like really exploring a character, that like is such a true art form to me. And it feels amazing. I love the feeling of it. The like other parts of it, I find challenging, like not having the stability of knowing unless you're like Eric, where he had the stability of knowing this is when I shoot, this is where I shoot. I'm going to be in LA for this period of time. That's really nice. But then I guess the flip side of that is you don't have the flexibility so much to just kind of pick up and go and travel and experience this here or that there. I mean, he did it well because he did it for a set amount of time.
Yeah, but you do. It's just that, it's just like it's kind of scheduled with your kid's summer because it's kind of perfect, honestly. He had this like amazing scenario for a certain amount of time because it was like his time off was when the kids, when the kids were off and then I guess
you're in a character, you're with one character for that period of time. I feel like I would probably like 3 years was max for me being with one character. I was like, I'm ready to like explore different characters, different genres.
I think it would depend on the character for me. If it was funny, if it was something that was funny. And so like every week I was being handed a new like comedy script and I was getting to like figure out different ways to make like certain lines or scenes funny in like a out of the box kind of way. Like to me, that's fun. And it doesn't matter that it's the same character because the more that you play with a character in comedy, the more that you like it, as soon as you get a script, like you're like, oh, I know exactly what to do with this.
Yeah.
And so then you get to like surprise people and do stuff that I don't know. There's just like something that always feels new and fresh with comedy. I think it's different when it's drama because, you're sort of going through like a big arc in a drama and Okay, this is a little bit of a switch up, but I have a funny mom story for you.
Yes, I want to hear.
So the last day of the kids' like school stuff, they're stepping up ceremonies and everything. Eric got called into work. And so he went to all the kids' stuff. But then afterwards, like they always have end of the year parties at like, a couple of the like friends' houses. So he ended up going to work and then I ended up taking the kids to the party. So I took Wyatt to his party and dropped him off and like another mom was going to bring him home for me. And then I took Esme and Winter to her party. And so I was so excited to go to this party because I had heard that this person's house was so beautiful, like newly just done, very much in my style, on like a double lot, like so much nature. You know me, it's like in Rustic Canyon, which is like one of my favorite places.
Where is Rustic Canyon?
It's like Santa Monica Canyon, Rustic Canyon. It's like near, it's on the west side, but it's kind of, I don't know how to describe it. You just have to like look up the area, but it's so beautiful. There's like all these old gorgeous trees there. And it's just very like, all of a sudden you don't feel like you're in LA anymore. It's just like, feels like you're in nature. And so I was so pumped to go. I was sort of doing a little bit of a runaround. And by the time we got to, I scarfed food down at Wyatt's party. By the time we got to this other party, I really had to go to the bathroom. And I was like, this always happens to me that like, I really get into these dire situations because when I have to go number 2.
Yes.
It is immediate.
Same.
And I then start going into stress mode of like
sweating.
I'm not going to be able to get to the bathroom fast enough because I have to get Winter out of her car seat and then grab all of our crap and then make sure Esme gets out of the car, and like somehow in the 15-minute drive from the other place to this place, the entire back seat is like destroyed and I have to like pick stuff up, and I'm grabbing everybody's water bottles and I'm grabbing all this stuff and I'm literally dying. I'm fully sweating. I was wearing
Turtle popping it.
Oh, beyond like on another level. I'm so fully sweating, like in my clothes, like in whatever I was wearing. And then I was like, okay, I just have to get into that house. Like I know, and like there has to be a bathroom right when I walk in.
And there's going to be people being like, "Hi, Sarah," like 100%. Trying to talk to you. Oh no!
I literally walked straight in. I saw the mom whose house it was. I was like, "Hi," you know. She's like, "Oh, I'm so excited to show you around," you know. And the house is stunning. I can't handle it. I'm like dying to see it. And I'm like, I just really have to go to the bathroom. It was very obvious that I had to go to the bathroom, right? And here's my other issue: Winter gets sick from like anything that grosses her out. Like
that's right.
Esme can eat canned fish in the morning. Winter will try to throw up. Like it's nuts. So I was like, "Oh, are you sure you want to come in here with me?" But then there's a pool, so I was like, "Okay, you're coming with me. We're going to the bathroom." And so she's in there. We're chatting, like whatever. I'm like, finally made it. Like I'm fully in sweats. Everything's good. I flushed the toilet.
No.
Freaking toilet breaks.
No.
It clogs up and then it's and I'm like, oh my God, Winter. I'm like, Winter, just like stand over there. And I was like,
did you have to scoop it out?
No. So I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, there's a toilet brush, but there's a freaking plunger. And I'm like,
no.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm not kidding you guys. I did not put hardly any toilet paper in the toilet because we have a sensitive toilet anyway. So I'm really like thoughtful about that. And it was like completely clogged. And so at this point, I'm like, oh my God. I was like, maybe it's just like a fluke thing and I just didn't push it down all the way. So like I pushed the thing again. No. The water rises all the way up to the top. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God, please don't. And this is a brand new house, brand new bathroom, like
with a shitty toilet.
Floor
literally
is gorgeous. Like I'm like, please do not overflow. So I walk out with Winter, but I'm like manning the bathroom because I don't want anybody to walk in there. It's the first bathroom that when you walk in the house. Okay. And so I'm like yelling at the mom and I was just like, hey, by chance, do you have a plunger? I was like, I know. I've been in your house for 3 seconds, but yeah, I think I broke your toilet. Can you give me a plunger? And she was like, oh my God, yes. So she like runs upstairs, grabs me a plunger, brings it down, and she was like, here. And I was like, I got it. I like went in, shut the door, locked it. You guys know how stressed I get about poop anyway. Like the fact that anybody even knows that I go number 2 makes me crazy. Like, and then going to someone's like brand new gorgeous home and breaking their toilet in 5 seconds is the epitome of my night. It's like it's definitely my top 5 nightmares of all time. If it had been like a guy that I was into and it was his house, because that happened with Eric one time. That would be definitely the top 2.
Oh my God.
I start plunging. It's not working. Winter's like, what's happening? And I'm like, it's not working. And she's like, what are you doing? You're making it worse. And I was like, I'm not making it worse. I was like, just can you look over at the wall?
Oh no.
And I'm just like, you guys, when I tell you that I was using every bit of muscle that I had, and I was like bending my knees and just like, I was like, it's going to work. It's going to work. It was a half an hour at least. Finally, it worked and it went down. And then I was like cleaning the plunger, like cleaning I was just like, oh, it was just, then I was like, I washed my hands like so many times, and then Winters, and I was trying to make the bathroom smell good. And I was like, she had like a herbal spray in there, so spraying that. But then by the time I came out, my hair's wet. I'm like so sweaty. Oh. And I was like, okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine. And we went, and there's moms everywhere, and everybody's like hanging out and talking. And I planted myself on this blanket in the sunshine and laid down and was just like, I don't think I'm going to move. I think I'm just going to sit here.
Oh my God.
Being mortified for the next
stress.
I can't. You guys, I just am not good at the whole number 2s. I'm just not good at it. Oh my God.
Sarah, you know how many toilets I've broken, so don't you worry. I just scooped my poop out of Muse at the Muse toilet. I literally had to scoop it on out and be like, oh my God. I had to throw like Prairie's knickers away. And I mean, I've had to do so many crazy gross shit surrounding shit. And
it's the worst.
You're so beautiful and clean and and graceful, but this is a lot for you. This is very stressful.
This is a lot. This is a lot for me, you guys. And one of the moms I love so much, she came and sat on the blanket with me, and I immediately told her what happened. She was falling over laughing so hard.
God,
and she goes, I literally look over at the blanket and I see this beautiful woman basking in the sun. And she's like, and I think you don't have a care in the world. And I'm just going to go sit next to her. And she's like, meanwhile, you're literally inside dying, like sweating because you just like broke a toilet.
You literally like took a dump in the toilet, like, broke
exactly. You never know what people are going through.
Oh my God. That is one of my favorite stories you've ever told. Wow.
It was pretty intense. I was like, what did I eat at the other party that I was at? I must have accidentally ingested like something I was allergic to, because it was just like a dire emergency. Like I shoved food in my mouth and then ran to the next party, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not okay.
My friends, people who know me know who I'm talking about. But I have a good girlfriend. I'm not going to say who she is.
I love that you're always like, I'm not going to out this person.
I'm not going to out her with this shit story. But she was hooking up with this famous dude, a famous singer. And he's like hot and she's so gorgeous and whatever. And she was back at his house and they had this amazing night together. And, you know, anyway, they like hooked up. And then in the morning, like she woke up and he was still like lying next to her, sort of snoring. And she was like, wow, this house is amazing. Like, whoa, what a sick pad, like whatever. Anyway, so she started walking around and she was like, oh my God, I need to take a shit. She's like, what am I going to do? Like, crap, I can't do it in this toilet right here where he's sleeping. Like, I'm going to have to walk out into the house and find another toilet somewhere. And she was like, all right, where can I take a poo? And she's like, and he's still sleeping. So she's like, I've got time. I can go do this. So she went to like the furthest bathroom she could possibly find. She took this massive poo, like a huge log, same thing, pull the chain, nothing. It's just there. And she was like, oh my God, started sweating, was like, he's going to wake up any second. And then she was like, what do I do? What do I do? So she's like, trying. It's so bad. The water's rising up. And she's like, fuck it. I'm fucking taking it out. I'm picking it up. So she wraps toilet paper around both of her hands.
Oh my God.
She scoops up the shit.
Oh my
and
nightmare.
Then she's running through the house with her poo in her hand.
No!
trying to open the door, but the alarm's on. He set the alarm. She can't get out. And she's like running around with this shit. And she's like, he's going to wake up any second. And then she's like, oh my God, what do I do? And then she goes and the cleaner has just been. So the house is perfectly tidy. So she runs into the kitchen. She's like, she finds a bin and she quickly chucks it in the bin. She literally puts her shit in his kitchen bin.
No.
Cleans her hands, gets back into bed. He rolls over and is like, hey. And then she doesn't say anything about it. But then the idea is that his cleaner had just been. And so it would be a week until the cleaner's coming.
No.
Again.
She pooped in, it looks like she pooed in the kitchen.
Oh my God. You will die when I tell you who it is and who the famous person is, because it's fucking hilarious.
Did she ever get outed?
We have no idea. But Mark knows this person, the famous person. And I'm like, we need to try and find out. Like, if he ever tells a funny story about this chick he hooked up with and then he found this human turd, like, in his kitchen trash can.
You guys.
It's so good.
That is insane.
It's amazing.
I mean, sometimes you just need a good poop story.
Sometimes you need to have a giggle at poop. I mean, poop will never not be funny.
It'll never not be funny. And my poor children sometimes will have experiences. And I always am like, Mom has so many embarrassing poop stories.
Yes.
Let me tell you how normal it is. Okay? And then
we all have them.
Lay it on them, and they just think it's the funniest thing ever.
Guys, we want to hear your poop stories.
Yeah,
Drop in the DMs, like in the comments. Give us your poop stories.
How bad was it? Anyway, well, this was a great, fun solo episode, and happy whatever day that you want to celebrate today, wherever you are in the world.
Yes.
But let's just say happy summer, because we're all grateful for some warm sunshine, unless you're in Australia, and then happy cozy sweater months.
Yes, by the fire, pissing down with rain. And now I'm about to piss my pants. So I'm glad this
Love you so much.
Love you so much.
Daisies.
Love you guys.
You've been listening to the Mother Days. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Go set off some fireworks. What? Bye.